wanna like this Andre album. When they announced it, I got all excited. This artist I've admired is finally out of hiding. Somehow we got inspired, then decided it's time to break his silence. But he told us that he's staying silent, playing flute instead of rhyming. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I'm behind it, something different, but something's missing. It felt way off. Felt like watching Jordan play baseball. Then I got suspicious, like, Andre, did you let your inner critic win? Did you convince yourself that you isn't him? Do you got hard drives full of hidden gems, locked behind computers and won't let us in? Listen, you don't have to, yeah, I get it, man, but who am I supposed to listen to? Lil who? Or another rapper with ghostwriters who only asset is that they visual. With all due respect, I'm sorta pissed at you, cause I've been hearing things you said in interviews, and it's got me a bit confused. Saying you too old to bring something new, that isn't true, but who am I supposed to listen to? I'd rather hear from an old you than just be stuck with hearing all your old tunes. But who am I? Just one of your pupils who got student pride. Sometimes I feel like you dead, but you alive. I just pray before the day that you truly fly. You feel like the gift God gave you was fully utilized. And maybe this is foolish pride, like, what do I think I'm doing? I'm just a stranger out here asking this man for new music. And you never listen to nobody except yourself, so I know this is useless. You drive hey at the height of G-Unit, and man, that's gangster. You the ultimate nonconformist. You kept pushing boundaries, exploring. You taught us normal is boring. That's the thing I love about you the most. You reinvented yourself. You raised the bar on what you expected yourself. But maybe the bar got so high that you can't even reach it. Unsatisfied, start calling all your heat is decent, then you don't release it. Honestly, it's hard to believe, cause I heard all your features. You got Killer Mike and Grammy, man, that joint was recent. And look, no disrespect to him either, but dog, you tweaking. It's all speculation, I don't know the reason either, but my guess is that it's pressure. It's probably easier to be a flute player than one of the greatest rappers ever. And I know I'm sounding critical, but if I'm coming clean, this got more to do with me, it isn't you. Cause you're an artist I aspire to. Now you gone and retired. I think my deepest fear is that I see myself inside of you. It been 3 years and I've been quiet too. And all this time I've been inside the stew. Everything I cook up feel, man, like it's kinda cool. Got me really thinking like, man, maybe my time is through, and you got nothing left to prove. I'm still playing festivals to pay my team and fund the dreams that I'm yet to execute. And every day I'm less enthused to write a rhyme or bless the booth. Every thought ain't fresh and new, like when I was 22, when music was the place I would express it through. I was fighting for respect, rapping like the rent was due. I wanted the world to love me, now a couple friends to do. Tell the truth, are these the thoughts you had? Is where you at, where I'm headed to? So every year that I ain't heard from you, the insecurities I'm working through feel like for sure they true. So please don't take it personal, but you moved on from rap, and I don't think I got the courage to. But keep your heart 3 stacks, keep your heart, share your art 3 stacks. This isn't regular. Not at all. Yeah, this isn't regular. The life I live. Look, I remember signing my first deal. Offers came in, ain't know who to go with. I prayed about it, didn't hear nothing. Decision time came, I pushed the button. Push it. I felt like God was just telling me make a decision to stand on it. He gon' be with me regardless, and that's how I feel about it. Make a whole lot of things more complicated than it gotta be. Walk by faith, then a whole lot of things I ain't gon' see. Yeah, but this isn't regular. I drop a new again, so now we cool again. They wanna blow up the cellular. Even thought about retiring, but I'm still throwing dimes. Getting better over time, so I'm going overtime. This run, about to be way more legendary than the first. Hate to talk, love the show, let's get to work. Where I've been, in the gym, putting shots, going dirt, going for it, on the force, never scared, still in church. This isn't regular. No, not at all. Yeah, but this isn't regular. I've been addicted to getting better. I was driving in the Honda Civic when the bank account had plenty in it. Living off a little, thinking bigger, man. I'm never worried about what they opinion.
What is up, people? Hello, and welcome back to another live stream. It feels like we were just talking to each other, and that's because we were. Let's see. 8 o'clock, 4 hours ago. 4 hours ago. 4 hours ago I was live. Good to have all of you here. My name is Tyler Ramsby. I am back for another stream, but in this one, we're doing some classic hacking. As a matter of fact, Wednesday night used to be my live stream time. Back when I worked at my previous job and I worked full-time during the day as a pen tester, can never stream during daytime hours. Every Wednesday night, I jumped on here, we hacked all the things, and I thought, yo, it's Wednesday night. Let's do it. One thing you might notice is the backdrop is a little bit different. For those of you who are observant, I am now at my home studio. So 4 o'clock stream, I was at my office. I quickly ran to my office. I always feel weird just like being at my office late at night. I would prefer to be home if I'm going to be streaming. So ran to my office, grabbed my mic, grabbed my extra phone, aka my camera, and here we are. What you may realize is I also have a brick wall here. I doubled up the brick walls. And so I have a brick wall in both places, but the brick wall at my house has the most up-to-date pictures. These are pictures that we just added a little bit ago. So you can admire. I'll move out of the way. I told my kids I would show off their new pictures, and so I'll move out of the way so you guys can see their pictures before I go into my stuff. All right, you guys got to admire their pictures. Hey, we got Sank with the super chat. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. We'll see how long it takes for people to realize I'm live at night again. A lot of people are probably used to me streaming during the day. So as soon as someone gets used to me being in a schedule, I got to switch it up. I got to keep people on their toes. Love the frog. Oh, yes. Guys, I do have to show you this. It might just be because he's my kid, but I think it's amazing. Let me see if I can grab this one picture. I don't want to rip it, though. One sec. I got it. All right, guys. So my son is 6 years old and just turned 6 in September, and he loves coloring. And so for a few mornings, he always wakes up really early. So my son wakes up at like freaking 5:30 in the morning, and usually he is singing or playing his drums in his room, like little buckets, and I have to say like, dude, do something quieter. And so he was working on this picture for a few mornings. Here's this picture. I don't know if you guys can see it. Like, He did this without any help. I did not tell him what colors to use. He just did this in the morning. I was like legit amazed at how well he was able to like color. I mean, once again, might just be my son, but the fact that he like he highlighted, like he colored deeper on certain parts of the car to highlight the shadows and such. I was amazed. My daughter. Some of the pictures I can't get off there, but here is one of my daughter's pictures. She's 9. She's actually really good at drawing. Except for I think she left over good drawings in her room. These are mostly coloring ones. I'll have to get a picture of the drawings. Oh, the picture of me and her? Okay, I'll show you guys once. I try not to show my kids on social media. This one's pretty old. They used to do a daddy-daughter. Oh, thank you for the super chat over from Canada, GGF. They used to do a daddy-daughter dance in a town near me. Unfortunately, they stopped doing it. But this was from the last time they did it. I think my daughter was 4 or 5. She's now 9, so it's been a couple of years. And we made this frame as part of the daddy-daughter dance, so that's this one right here. It's like the only time I'm going to dress up. I don't dress up for anything else, but for my kids I will. This one she needs to color, guys. I'll get some like, I'm not just saying this because it's my daughter, but she's really good at drawing. Here's some of her penguins she must have drawn over I don't know if it was Christmas that she drew these penguins. I just need to get her to color them in. But she drew some of the K-pop demon hunters. Amazing. It's hard to get pictures to stick to a fake brick wall. So I might have to retape some of those back up. We'll see if they fall down from the stream. But yes. Yeah, so when you see the new art behind me, you know that I'm at my house. I need to update the art in my office as well. But moving my brick wall from my house to my office is a last-minute decision. My kids weren't even home at that time. And so then I got this new one, and we decorated it just the other night. But yes, I mean, them and my wife. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Hoping it works out. But my primary goal, right? I want to give back to the community, but I also want to be able to provide for my family. So if you want to help me provide for my family and being able to make content like this, please go become a subscriber on Hack Smarter. You can see our subs are super affordable, but you also get a lot of value out of them. If you just want to give like a one-time gift, you can do a YouTube super chat. Otherwise, even better than that is giving on Ko-Fi. YouTube takes like, I think, half of a super chat. Around that, Ko-Fi takes nothing, so you guys can check that out. But anyways, I'm sure you guys aren't here just to admire my kids' art. Maybe you are. And if you are, you're amazing. All right, let me just scroll up, though. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. If you guys have any quick questions, I'll answer them. Otherwise, we're going to dive into the hacking this evening. I already did an AMI earlier today. I did say during the daytime stream that I wasn't going to stream tonight, that my brain was sort of broken for the day, and I was going to play ESO. And then I got my kids put to bed, and I kind of sat there, and I was like, I don't really feel like playing ESO, and my brain got a nice break. You'll notice that I'm super responsive on Discord, probably too responsive, except for between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. When I get home, I try to just take my phone, put it on its charger in my bedroom, and just try not to mess with it to the best of my ability. And it's crazy how much that just resets your brain from looking at a computer all day. Just taking that 3-hour break helps reset your brain, reset your thinking. We'll see how it goes. Let me just scroll in, and I'll answer Amish notes that am I a Twitch affiliate? Technically, I am, but I think to make money on live streams, you have to enable ads. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, I freaking hate it when I'm watching a live stream and I'm interrupted mid-live stream with ads. And the truth is, unless you have thousands upon thousands of live viewers, you're making like no money. So I'm not going to interrupt the stream midway through with an ad so that I can make 10 cents for this stream. It's just silly to me at this level. Multi-stream isn't an issue. I mean, I don't think so. Twitch hasn't said anything about it, but if it is, I'll just be like, okay, Twitch, keep your money. I'm not making any money from Twitch anyway, so Twitch can get over themselves. Tyler, are your son or daughter showing signs of following your footsteps? I mean, they like YouTube. They're not real. Okay. My son's kind of been hacking, and I didn't even realize it. I'll tell you guys a fun story about my son before we dive into it. So my kids have Amazon Kid tablets. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're pretty cool for kids. You have full parental control, so you can lock them down. And so what I like about the kid tablets, I'm not a big fan of screen time for kids. So my kids get like an hour of set time, and when it's over, their tablet automatically locks them out, or an hour and a half. I don't remember what it is. But when they're done, their tablet automatically locks them out. They can't continue using it. And I can also lock it anytime from my phone, and I can restrict everything they get access to. So it works out great. Well, my son discovered that when he ran out of time on his profile, my son's tablet used to be my daughter. So my daughter's profile is also on my son's tablet. He realized when he ran out of time on his profile, he'd go in the top right corner and switch to my daughter's Ava profile and begin using her tablet time and steal her tablet time away from her. And then what he did, which I thought was hilarious, Ava was like, why did you have a profile picture right on your tablet, and Ava was like, why did my profile picture change to a truck? And I realized my son figured out he could abuse broken access control by changing to my daughter's profile and then changing her profile picture just to mess with her and just change her profile picture to different things. And when she would change it back, he would change it back to something else. He also, there's another thing for my son, he's 6. When I think I had to do something with parental controls and I just wasn't paying attention, right? So I typed in the PIN on it, and apparently he was watching me type in the PIN, and this was like a few days afterwards. And then after that, he ran out of tablet time, and I was like, oh, you're locked out right now. And then I noticed he was still on it, and I realized he looked at me putting my PIN like a few days earlier, realized what my PIN was, and then when he ran out of time, he hit the adult thing, turned on the PIN so he could access it again. So I'm having to play blue team against my kids. My daughter did this as well when she was, gosh, was she 5 or so when she first got her tablet? Same thing. It's locked. She can't use it. What she learned that she could do is on the tablet, she learned that although she couldn't access the tablet, if she hit the camera icon like 3 or 4 times, or it wasn't the camera, it was a different icon on it. You hit it 3 or 4 times, it would pull up the option to pull up a camera. So then she was like taking pictures and putting emojis on the picture when she wasn't supposed to be on her tablet. She realized she could bypass the lock screen and at least use the camera. So guys, kids will teach you how to be a blue teamer. I'm always like having to blue team this stuff and things that I don't even think about, and I hack stuff for a living. So yes, in a little bit, they're following in my footsteps. They're not as interested in computers as me. Like, I bought them, I can't grab it, they're on the charger. You know, in the school, they always just use tablets, which I think is silly. So I bought them both little Chromebooks. So I made them emails so they can receive emails from grandparents and stuff. So trying to teach them that stuff. But yes. Did the issue with VPN connectivity get fixed? That was only an issue for a few hours that one last Thursday during that release. The issue was that there were so many people connecting from Hack Smarter for the last machine that we DOSed the VPN server. Now, the VPN server has significantly more resources, shouldn't happen again. But I think we hit a record last Thursday with our machine release that we had 95 different VMs running at the same time. So that was really cool. But yes, I think we got it. YouTube takes 50%. I might have that number wrong here. Before I get that wrong, let me look it up. That sounds about right. YouTube takes 30%. So yes, if you give me a super chat, unfortunately, the YouTube empire is taking 30% of it. So I appreciate super chats. They're amazing. But if you really want to give something that is even more effective, if you give on Ko-Fi, Ko-Fi doesn't take anything, which is cool. I don't even know how they make money, to be honest with you, but they don't take anything. Any sneak peeks on the new Lambo? Not yet. Not even close to freaking, I mean, I told you guys at 4 o'clock, but I got a note from my accountant. Not a great note. But I went from a single member LLC in 2025 to now I am an S Corp. And so I have to pay myself a salary. I'm like a W-2 employee. I have to run payroll. And I freaking found out just to run my payroll, I have to pay over $2,000 every single month. That's not actually going to me. Those are taxes I have to pay. It's $2,100 every single month. And then because the U.S. health insurance thing is a freaking scam, just for the cheapest marketplace plan for my family of 4, I have to pay $1,500. So, you know, that's almost $4,000 I have to pay that doesn't even go to me. And then I've tried to pay myself a salary on top of that. So honestly, that news freaking sucked. I'm still, yeah. The joy of entrepreneurship. So you can watch the stream at 4 o'clock. You can hear all the details, but suffice it to say that was rough. So when people are like, Tyler, are you hiring? I'm still trying to hire myself. Like, I'm legit trying to figure out what that looks like practically, but it is what it is. Unlike the president, I can't break laws and get away with it. All right, but enough of whining and complaining about me. Just looking through chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. They make it so hard to do your own thing for absolutely no reason. Yeah, it's tough, but keep pushing. Like I said before, I've shared this with you guys. I've been able to give myself about 1.5 to 2 year runway. So, like, I don't need to panic until that point. I have a little bit of time to build things up, but it'll be fine, I think. Worst case scenario, I'll figure out something else. But what's up, Bearded IT Dad? You are still live. Well, not still live. I was live earlier this afternoon and I came home, supper, played Hogwarts Legacy actually with my kids, got them put to bed. And I was like, I should do a little bit of hacking. I don't know how long I'll stream tonight, guys. I filmed 3 podcast episodes with Jerry. I live streamed for an hour. I worked on my course. Oh, we got the Bearded IT Dad with the 1337 super chat. Dude, thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. You're amazing. No stories we're telling which contains no adversities. Exactly. I mean, guys, if you are new here, if you go to my YouTube channel, I've been quite literally documenting this thing, the good, the bad, the ugly. I quit a super high-paying job as a pen tester to build my own thing. I gave myself a $60,000 pay cut when it comes to my salary. Apparently that pay cut's going to be even more now because the government wants to steal all my money for the taxes. And I'm documenting all of it for you guys. The good, the bad, the ugly. I thoroughly believe all of this will succeed. But worst case scenario, if it comes to a point where it's not sustainable, I'm not able to provide for my family, I'll have to give in and get a W-2 job. But either way, I'll document all of it. And you guys will learn from the process. So maybe worst case scenario, it doesn't work out for me, but someone gets inspired by my journey. They learn from the mistakes that I share, and they make something amazing. So either way, it's a win-win. It'd be really, really difficult if that happened. Guys, I had a freaking nightmare. I don't know if you guys have ever had these dreams where you wake up and you're back in high school, and then like you're late for class and everything kind of falls apart. And then you're like, wait, I'm like 30. Why am I in high school? Well, I had that same dream, but it wasn't about high school. It was freaking about working at my previous job. I had a nightmare that I was an employee again. And I remember, which like I was a pen tester, like that's like people's dream jobs. But I remember in my dream, I was like, holy crap, why am I someone's employee again? Aren't I supposed to be my own boss? Like, what's going on? I can't stream anymore. Like, I was so confused in my dream. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, it's just a dream. But if this doesn't work out, that dream's going to become reality. So we're going to do it. No, I saw Xerox3. I think he made like a joke video. But what's up, Jerry from Nigeria? You're a legend for being so open about your company. Thank you. Thank you. Like practically, I'll share one small thing. I shared this during the earlier live stream to give you guys kind of a snapshot practically of what I'm aiming for. I'm really not trying to get a Lambo. But if this is what sucks about what the accountant told me. So if we do the math, is my numlock on? No. What? Why does it? There we go. So the accountant said my payroll taxes, this is without going to me. This goes straight to the government. I have to pay $2,100 every single month. My health insurance is $1,500 a month. So that's money no matter what. And then the hosting cost for Hack Smarter, when people are like, Tyler, can you give me free vouchers, blah, blah, blah. Guys, running Hack Smarter, the infrastructure and hosting cost me on average $1,500 a month. So this is $5,100 of fixed costs no matter what. All right. And then on top of that, like the salary that I set for myself, and keep in mind, this may seem like a lot if you're not in the U.S., but it's not a lot if you're in the U.S. I'm the sole income provider for my family of 4. And so I gave myself a salary, of $80,000 a year, which I know it comes to this devil number. Let's just call it $6,500. So for this to be sustainable, guys, let's do the math. You have $6,500 plus $1,500 for health insurance, plus payroll taxes, plus hosting fees. And that's without adding anything else into the business. We could round up to about $12,000 a month is what I need to even make this sustainable. Now, you might think $80,000 is a lot, but if you go to average household income in the U.S., because that's my whole household income, right? Average household income is around $121,000. Medium's 83,000, blah, 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 blah. But anyways, if you live in the U.S., you know that $80,000 for a family of 4 It really is not that much money. At my previous job, I was making about 145,000. So let's see. And that was also with my health insurance paid for. So I've given myself a $65,000 pay cut to work 70 hours a week, essentially, with a whole bunch of risk to try to make this work. So that's the reality of entrepreneurship that the YouTube influencers aren't going to show you. But I'm living it, guys, day in and day out. I am building this thing up. I'm trying to make it happen. I have a good runway due to my earlier courses that were successful. And I really do think that this will be successful. We're getting close to actually hitting that target each month. And Hack Smarter has only been around for 4 months now. So slowly building things up. But that's where things are at, guys. I don't have like Heath Adams money. I don't have that kind of money. I don't have the Lambo money. I really don't have that much money. Which, for some reason, I feel like a lot of people think I do, especially when they email me. They ask me for free stuff. They want me to sponsor things, which is cool, but I'm not actually rich, y'all. All right. Amish No said, yeah, it's a real number. A lot of the men I know are supporting a family with, and they are struggling East Coast. Yeah. I mean, it helps that I live in South Dakota, but even then. Harrison says, yeah, it's literally medium income. 80K is what I make, but I only have one kid. Yeah, so like, guys, my wife's a stay-at-home mom. Well, okay, she works like 8 hours a week for a local college, making like $14 an hour. So I think that comes to $400 or $500 a month. But outside of that, I am the only income provider for my wife and 2 kids who are both in school and in activities. So it's not cheap. Another funny story, the house I live in, guys, is built by inmates. I got this house when I was even more broke as a pastor. So my house is actually made specifically for low-income families. Back when I was a pastor, they built it at the prison in South Dakota to provide housing for low-income families. So I really am building this, guys, from the ground up, or at least doing it to the best of my ability. That's why even if I became successful, you're never going to see anything flashy. The way people chase success is silly to me. The extra money I made when I was a pen tester, that's what I'm using to build Kairos Second Hack Smarter. That's my runway. I put a lot of that into the business as runway so that I can attempt to pay myself while running things at loss while I try to build things up. All right. Business update out of the way. After all that fun and encouraging freaking news, let's do some hacking. So what we are going to be working on tonight, we're finally going to finish a machine that we started before my Christmas break. So I think the last time we were working on this machine was early December, so back in 2025. And the machine that we are going to doing, if you want to follow along, if you head over to hacksmarter.org, we are going to be doing the evasive machine. And what I'm doing on my YouTube channel is I'm quite literally working through and solving all of the machines on live stream and then making a video series on those. So I have solved all of these machines on my YouTube channel. So if you want to check them out, you can go back into the YouTube archive and find them. Hopefully tonight we are going to finish the evasive machine. And then in the next live hacking stream, we will move on to the Cisco machine. So we're going to be working on evasive. If you want to join me, go to hacksmarter.org. Now in the past, as I was working on the machines, I would make them free during the duration of the stream, but I'm going to be real with you guys. I already just showed you what I'm dealing with financially, but like, if you do the annual plan, labs are only $6.99 a month. So just get a subscription and support what I'm doing. Don't be a freeloader. So I'm not going to continue making them completely free while I live stream. If you want to follow along, get a sub to Hack Smarter, support what I am doing, and then you can follow along. But anyways, we'll be working through the evasive machine. One cool thing, and we'll see if it actually works, is it saves your progress. So although I haven't done this machine since whenever, when I start it back up and we get everything running, I think it will actually pick up where we left off and I'll give you guys kind of a quick recap. We'll wait for this machine to boot up. But it's been a while since we were here, so let me remind you and also remind me of what we have all encountered on this machine. So we had SMTP, and which is not a web server, a mail server, and then a web server open, an SMB. On the SMB, we found, I believe, some docs that gave like a default password potentially. Yes, we had a default password, but we had to change it to new user 2025, if my memory serves me correct. We were able to connect to the mail server. We did some username brute forcing. We ended up, this is a cool thing, you have to bypass Windows Defender on this machine. We sent a phishing email over to, was it Roger or Alfonso? One of the two, but we sent a phishing email over to him. We saw that Alfonso is in this net user Alfonso group, blah, 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 blah. I think the merger information was the first flag. Let me check. Yeah, what is the name of the company that is being bought? Oh, okay, now it's coming back to me. In the last live stream, we were able to fully compromise the machine. We were running things as NT System Authority, but when I was trying to dump the NTLM hashes, we got caught by Defender, and it kind of ruined everything and killed our session. So that's what ended up happening. Oh, 0x3 Security said, I am signing up right now supporting. Dude! You're amazing. Seriously. Like, guys, the support means the world to me. I'm not even joking about that. Like, Hack the Box, I love them. For example, if you stop subscribing to Hack the Box, it's not going to affect anything. And if you subscribe to Hack the Box, it's not going to affect anything. Guys, when it comes to Hack Smarter, your support is going to make or break the platform. That is not an overstatement. All right. It's not true about Hack the Box. It's not true about Try Hack Me. It is true about Hack Smarter. Your support will make or break this platform. So, yes. And I think the platform's amazing. It is well worth the money. Anyways, so we got caught by Defender. So we're going to do some obfuscation in today's stream. Before we even jump onto it, let me know what we all did. Oh, we could write to the web server. That's right. And we used the potato, EFS potato, I think. Yes. All right. It's coming back to me. The default app pool user had SE impersonate privileges. God Potato got caught, so we couldn't use God Potato. That's when we first broke it. We ended up using EFS Potato. And we use EFS Potato, I believe, to get a sliver session as NT System Authority. And we can actually see everything I did there. Okay, beautiful. Before I start recording for the YouTube video, the standalone video, we need to get back to this point. We need to get caught up to where we left off. So this might take me a moment because it has been so long. So let me go ahead and jump on the VPN for Evasive. And I'm going to go over to CD. Jeez, I can't type. Hack Smarter CD Evasive. All right, there it is there. And I'm going to open up a new tab. We're going to call this one Sliver. And I'm going to do sudo systemctl start Sliver. All right, I'm going to open up Sliver. That should be good. And jobs and stuff shouldn't be running. I don't remember what we used as a shell before. Like our initial Sliver session, what did we use as a shell? Or, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm lost on what we all did before. Is this still up? This was a reverse shell that we uploaded on port 8080. Okay, let's see if this still exists. Oh. This is why notes are important, guys. Let me go to port 8080 and let's see if this shell that we uploaded pre-Christmas break is still out there. I'm telling you guys, no other platform does what we just did. If this was Hack the Box or Try Hack Me, we would have had to repeat every single step up to this point. The beautiful thing about Hack Smarter is it's like a video game. When you stop the machine, your progress is saved. I have not been on this machine since whenever. In our previous attempt, pre-Christmas break, we uploaded that ASPX shell, and the shell is still there. So we didn't have to redo any of those steps. It was saved from the last time we were on this machine. So we just had to open up a listener, go out to our ASPX shell, and we were able to catch a shell. We didn't have to repeat all of our steps. That does not happen on any other platform. Hack Smarter is the only platform that happens on. And it's ran by one freaking paid employee. Let's go. That's so cool. That's the first time that really saved me a lot of time. So from there, we have a shell, and if we do who am I priv, we have the SE impersonate privilege right there. So that's cool. This is where we attempted to upload God Potato, but we did EFS Potato. Oh, we compiled it. Where did we upload it to? inet ww root. Let's go ahead and check out that. And I see EFS Potato. Nice. I don't know why it just scrolled up on here. So if we do EFS Potato.exe, who am I? I'm not on PowerShell, so I should be able to just type it in like that. You can see this is PowerShell. Maybe I should upgrade to PowerShell. Oh, it worked. See? We are NT Authority System. So yes, EFS Potato works. Now, here's what I do not know. I don't remember what port update 2.exe is on. What that's going to do is it's going to pull down shell code that we generated previously, which that shell code is right here. And this fully bypasses Windows Defender. I'm going to take a guess that it was on port 443 because that's what I often use for evasion type things. So let's go ahead and find out. If I do mtls dash L, I need to figure out my IP on the VPN. Oh. Is it like that? There we go. All right, now we have a listener on port 443. I'm just guessing, though, that that's the port. If we do EFS potato.exe and we run update 2.exe, we should... Is my web server running? Okay, it is. What we should see is the web server will give up the shell c.bin, and then we will hopefully get a sliver session when it executes in memory. Interesting. We have something that failed, but okay, downloaded the shell c.bin. That is good. And we got a session. If we switch over to that session 5099, we can do who am I? And we have a sliver session as NT Authority System. Now, I'm just going to remind you of a few of the things that we ran into last time. Now, technically built into the Sliver C2, which, by the way, if you want a rundown on how to use Sliver and how to do everything I'm doing right now, this cool guy made an entire course with like 20 custom labs built into the course, full video-based course on Sliver, and it's 45% off right now. So check it out. Or if you get the all access, that gives you access to all my courses. But if you want to get more hands-on with Sliver, make sure you check out that course. Anyway, so we have Sliver, and what's nice about Sliver, I'll zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit better. Actually, that's going to be too zoomed in. We'll go like right there. If you do help, there we go. Did I not type help the first time? If you type help, you can see some commands that are built into the Sliver C2 framework. And sometimes it is easy to dump hashes because there is hash dump or dump hash. Am I blind? Maybe it's up here. Generic. There's definitely a hash dump built into it. Here it is. Dump local SAM password hashes, which is what we need because although we have NT system authority, and like what I love about this machine is it's not just getting flags. You actually have to do goal execution. We have fully rooted the machine, but we are not done with the machine. We have to get the NTLM hash for the administrator and then get the credit card number of the compromised user. So we need to get the NTLM hash. If we can dump the SAM database, that would work. But here's what I've noticed. If Windows Defender is enabled. It looks like it's dumping the hash. But if you look at this, you're going to notice every single hash is the same. It's literally just blank. Windows Defender is actually stopping us, at least that's what I assume, stopping us from being able to dump the hashes here. Yes, get a sliver course. I got it. Thank you. Lucan said, don't sell. To learn is just necessary curiosity. Dude, you're welcome to read the docs. But if you want a hands-on lab environment and you enjoy my teaching, you can check out the course. But appreciate your opinion. Disagree with it, but I appreciate you being here. Anyways, if you look at this, you can see all the hashes are the same. It's just a blank password. So there's an easy ways and hard ways of doing this. We could just copy like the Hive files, then pull it onto our Kali Linux machine and do it that way. But what I want to show you guys is how we can bypass Defender and do obfuscation. So I'll give you this. Yeah, I agree with Harrison Wells. We'll let Luke and Girl have his opinion. What we are going to do, and good luck finding docs to read about this, but Mimikatz is a tool that you've heard of, I've heard of. But if we were to put Mimikatz on any machine that has Windows Defender or an EDR, you are going to get caught quickly. Don't you mean NT hash, not NTLM? Yeah, dude, I don't know who the Luke and Girl guy is here. This is what we'll do. He's triggering everyone. We will block him. If he wants to spread negativity, there's plenty of live streamers he can do that on, but not in the Hack Smarter community. He's welcome to keep watching, but Luke and Grow, you clearly have no idea who I am. You are not part of the community, I would guesstimate. So, yeah. You do you, boo. But you're not going to do it here. Mimikatz. Yes, Mimikatz. Here, before we start the video, I'll show it to you. You just don't want to drop it on Defender. It's heavily, heavily signatured. So if you run this, it's not going to go well for you. But Mimikatz allows you to do a lot of post-exploitation stuff on Windows, including dumping SAM hashes and getting the NT hash for the administrator. So if you have done any type of Active Directory hacking or Windows post-exploitation, you have likely worked with Mimikatz. But things like the OSCP teach you how to use Mimikatz, but all of the machines that they teach you, Windows Defender is always disabled. They're not teaching you how to bypass it. And so what I want to do, and I have to give a shout out to my friend Lane Kusanagi on this. Lane Kusanagi has an excellent blog post. You've seen an EDR not catch Mimikatz? That's pretty amazing. Lane Kusanagi has an excellent blog post. I'm getting it pulled up over on my other monitor. I'll share it with you guys. Where he talks about how you can... stupid freaking notion when you try to copy links. We are essentially going to make a custom version of Mimikatz. We're going to put it into our Sliver Armory, and then with that, we're able to bypass Defender. And he has a really good blog that walks you through how to do this, but we will do it today. But, well, you need a Medium account. Shout out to him for doing this. I also want to show a little bit of love to my friend Lane Kusanagi. Let me grab his Buy Me a Coffee link up here. I don't know anything about Mimi Dogs. Usually most of those public tools that you see, though, if they worked before, they're not going to work anymore. They get signatured quick. But Lane Kusanagi, you may have heard of him from his famous Lane Kusanagi OSCP list. He's also a machine creator for Hack Smarter. He created the Cisco machine, which I think might be the one we're doing next. And he actually just created another machine for Hack Smarter that looks really cool called Sideload. It'll be coming out later on. But he has a Buy Me a Coffee, and I'm so far was the only supporter. I think when I first found this blog and I used it to obfuscate Mimikatz a little bit, I was so happy about it. I apparently bought him 100 pizzas. So if you guys want to show some love and support to Lane Kusanagi, let me drop a link there. And geez, I just realized I wasn't recording. I wanted to get that stuff in the recording. So let me get a drink of water. We're going to start recording for YouTube, and then we are going to do some Mimikatz Obfuscation. We're going to upload it into our Sliver armory to make a custom Mimikatz BOF, and then we're going to pull it from the armory and see if we can dump hashes that way. Sounds like a fun time to me. Hopefully it sounds like a fun time to you. Let me get some things pulled up on my other monitor before we start recording. Give me just a moment. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's actively updated. Okay, I want to look up Mimi Dogs real quick before I do this. Dude. Oh, wait. This is the only one I see on GitHub, and it was last updated 9 years ago. Maybe it's this one. I don't know. All right, let me just hit record, and then I will explain things. Give me just a moment. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to continue our series of working through the evasive machine on the HackSmarter platform. What's really cool about this machine, as the name implies, it requires various forms of AV evasion and obfuscation. Now, this is part 9 of this series, so if this is the first video you're watching, you might be a little bit lost, but that's okay. Just go watch all the other ones, or you can just pick up right here, and you'll learn a lot through the process. At this point in time, here is where we are at. We are on this machine. We have fully compromised it, but we are not done. What I like about this machine is the final flags or answers are more than just finding a flag. We need to dump the NTLM hash of the administrator, and we need to find a credit card of the compromised user. And if I jump over to our terminal, you can see that we have a Sliver C2 session as NT authority system, but hash dump doesn't work. I just realized I was not sharing my screen. It's been a while. Anyways, we have a shell as NT system authority on Sliver C2. Hash dump does not work. Windows Defender is fully enabled. This looks like it works, but these are just blank passwords. Now, I recently came across an excellent blog by my friend Lane Kusanagi. You may have heard of Lane. He has the famous OSCP-like list of machines. By the way, a bunch of HackSmarter machines are on there. He is also a machine creator for the HackSmarter platform. So Lane Kusanagi released a blog on bypassing. Here, let me grab it right here. I'll try to remember to drop this in the YouTube comment. Otherwise, if you just search for it, you'll be able to find this blog. But basically, we're going to make a custom Sliver Armory module with Mimikatz that will bypass Defender, and we are going to obfuscate it. Now, I do want to give a little bit of love to Lane Kusanagi. When I first came across this blog, I wanted to show him some support. He has a buymeacoffee.com, and guys, I'm his only supporter. This dude is always giving back to the community. So when I found it, I apparently bought him 100 pizzas. You could go buy him 200 pizzas. So check out Lane Kusanagi's Buy Me a Coffee. Show him some love. Show him some support. What I'm going to show you, all the credit goes back to him. All right, that being said, let me go ahead and walk you through how we can obfuscate Mimikatz in such a way, then load it into Sliver C2, then use it for post-exploitation to dump hashes and hopefully get the hash for the administrator so we can finally answer that second question on this machine. What we are going to do first is I'm going to go over here. Let me just get a new terminal window open. There, what were we doing here? Oh, that's just that initial shell. We'll just drop shell in there. But here is the terminal. Now, the first thing that we need to grab, and I'm going to grab it from my notes over here, is a specific script. I'm going to copy it here, and then I'll show it to you guys. If I go over here. Wow, dude. This, every time I copy links from Notion, they're like ruined now. So let me clean up this link real quick. And let's actually go to the link and not just search for it on YouTube. But this is from secure this sh1t. And it's obfuscate mimi _second.sh. Now, this was originally created to obfuscate the mimikatz.exe binary, I believe. but it no longer works. It is still signatured by Defender. So if you do this on just Mimikatz, it's going to get caught and it's not going to work. But if we do it with Sliver and we load it into Sliver, then we are hopefully going to be able to bypass Windows Defender and execute Mimikatz on the machine and dump those hashes. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click raw on here and do Control A, Control C to copy this full script. And I'm going to go over to my terminal here and I'm going to do nano obfuscate.sh. I'm going to paste this in, but there is one change we have to make to it. Geez, if I can type. On the git clone right here, we want to update this URL so it's actually pointed at the Sliver Armory module. So let's go ahead and grab that. So I'm going to pull this just so it's in this new window so I can Alt-Tab back over to my notes. But if we go to Sliver C2 Armory GitHub, let's see if we can find it. So here is the Armory. And if we start typing in the Find a Repository Mimikatz, I think it should pop up. There it is. And we're going to grab the code right here. So you can just copy that to your clipboard. And then on our script, this is the only thing we're going to replace. The Vim gods are angry. I'm not lead enough to use Vim. So we'll replace that link with the Mimikatz from the Sliver Armory. I'm going to do Control X, Y, Enter. Let's go ahead and make this executable. Like so. And then once it is executable, we will go ahead and run it. And now we cross our fingers and we hope it works. Yeah, Black Hills and anti-siphon training are top notch. I agree. The whole John Strand team and all of them are amazing. So what should happen, if everything actually works for us, is it will output a new folder called Windows with a Visual Studio solution file. Then we have to go into our Windows machine and do some fun that way. All right, it looks like it is all done. If I ls it, you can see we have our Windows folder right here. And I was testing this before. I don't know if I still have the folder from when I was playing around with this. Let me look. Windows VM ls, I do. I'll just go ahead and remove this last one so I can show you guys the full process. So there's a few things going on. I'm going to do my best to slow down and explain it. But I actually saw this question on Discord recently where a walkthrough mentioned having to compile something from source and someone didn't want to do that. Once you go beyond like the OSCP level of hacking, you are going to have to compile things from source using Visual Studio and using Windows. And yes, I also hate Windows, but it is a necessary evil for a lot of this. So one takeaway from all of this is you need to set up a Windows VM that has Visual Studio installed so you can do this type of obfuscation and compilation and all of that fun stuff. Even then, I'm not a Visual Studio god and I usually have to troubleshoot as I go. But let me go ahead and open up Remina, which I don't know why I'm doing it that way. We'll go here. I'm going to type in Remina. Check out his page. Did you give something to Lane Kusanagis? Buy me a coffee. Let's see. I can't see the other supporters, I don't think. I see 2 supporters, though. So if you gave, that's awesome. Anyways, what I have is a Windows VM here. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I don't remember what is all configured on this. Oh, it is set to stream. All right, sweet. So it says Windows VM. This actually isn't a Windows VM. You can compile some things using MS Build. I know, but I've had issues myself. But if you can get it to work, let me know. That'd be awesome. This says Windows VM, but this isn't actually a Windows VM. This is my real Windows computer. So I have a Windows computer right here. You guys can't see it, but it's like a gaming computer, pretty high end of a computer. And I have a separate profile I set up just for live streaming so that I'm not revealing my host machine. But what I've noticed is when you're doing like compiling and stuff like that, you can use a Windows VM, but you want to make sure your Windows VM has a lot of power behind it. If you have a physical Windows machine you can connect to, that works even better. I don't know why it's taking so long to RDP. Hopefully, there we go. Now it's working. Yes, we will sign in anyways. Waiting for my Outlook email to respond. Let's see what happens. What I use is Tailscale. Now, this is not promoted by Tailscale in any way, shape, or form, but I do think it's free for just like a free user if you don't have a business account. But Tailscale allows you to set up essentially a private VPN, sort of like WireGuard between your different devices. So even when I'm at my office and I'm working, I can connect back to my Windows machine from my office or really from anywhere in the world as long as I am on my private Tailscale network. So I have my Kali Linux VM here on my Tailscale network, and I have my actual Windows machine on my Tailscale network. So then I can go back and forth and hack away at things that way. Additionally, within Remina, I set up a shared folder. If you just Google how to set up a shared folder with Remina, you can do that. But therefore, my Kali Linux VM and this Windows machine have a shared folder, so I can easily transfer files back and forth, and that's actually this hacking folder. One other step that I'll give you, or one other tip that I will give you, is when it comes to using Windows, I do have AV enabled on this machine because it is my real Windows machine. But with Windows Defender, you can set up a folder exclusion. So this hacking folder is excluded from Windows Defender so it doesn't kill my payloads. Now what we need to do is on this Windows VM, we need to copy from Hack Smarter Evasive Windows, and we need to copy it to here. But since it is a folder, I mean R, not F. I was thinking folder. Since it's a folder, we have to pass it -R so it copies it recursively, and then it should grab this folder and it should have all the files in it, which it looks like it does. So let's head over to our Windows VM, or not VM. I'm confusing myself. It's my real Windows machine. Let's head to the Windows machine, and I have Visual Studio installed right here. We have Visual Studio. What I'm going to do is click Open a Project or a Solution. And you can see I'm already in my hacking folder. So this is the shared folder with the Kali Linux VM you just saw. I'm going to click into Windows, and we're going to open up this solution file right there. And I'm going to click Open. Your version of Visual Studio is no longer supported. I don't care. What's your thoughts on Windows going full Rust, if I'm not mistaken? I don't have thoughts on it. I honestly haven't looked into it. I don't know if that's even fully true, but I legit just don't have any thoughts on it. Anyways, now here's where I'm probably going to run into issues, because I always run into issues when I'm trying to compile stuff. The way that we want to do this is you have different options here. We want to compile Silvercats, and we want to do x64. I think by default, that might default to ARM64. We don't want to do that. I'm going to hit start on this, and I figured I would run into some issue. Unable to start program is not a valid Win32 application. Cool. I don't know why these aren't loaded. Let's see if I can reload the project. The imported project was not found. Confirm that the expression. This is what I run into when I'm doing Visual Studio. It's like just confusing things like this. And I am not a Visual Studio god, so we might spend a little bit of time troubleshooting, seeing if we can figure this out. Let's go ahead and try to reload project. Cannot load. Project does not contain requested configuration. Please verify the SNL file is valid and uses only existing project configurations. It should. I'm actually curious. Did I ever even test this fully? I don't think I did. I wonder if I ran into this bug and like rage quit. I did this before once, but it was quite a while ago. Can I do this? No. All right, so we need mimispool.dll. Let's see if we can figure this out. I wonder, I actually have a few ideas. If I right click here, I wonder if I can retarget the solution to a different SDK version. I don't know if this will fix it or not, but let's give it a shot. All right, we still get load failed on these, so maybe that's not going to do it. Nope. Dang it. Guys, I'm determined though. The easy way would just be to copy those Hive files, but we're not going to do that. First, let's get rid of this message, and then let's go ahead and see if we can figure this out. I might have to invoke some Gemini on this one, because I don't know enough about the Windows API to understand why I can't compile this. You think if I just do it a bunch of times it will work? Let's go ahead and look at the error messages. I don't know if this is going to give me any information. Confirm, blah, blah, blah. If we go to tools, tools, get tools and features. I wonder if I have to download an older runtime for some of these SDKs, like these down here. I don't know which one it would be, though. All right, this is where AI is actually really helpful. Let me stop sharing my screen just while I get logged in. I try not to be overly reliant on AI, but things like this, I'm not going to sit here and troubleshoot it, especially while I'm streaming. Yeah, Amish, no, that's my life. If you just do it a bunch of times, maybe it will start working. The web pen testing course is coming out March 3rd. All right, and I will probably do, for those of you watching it after the fact, you won't have to watch me troubleshoot forever. I will use the magic of video editing, and I will forward you to the end and let you know what the fix was once we are able to debug this. All right, guys, this is real pen testing. Visual Studio, please help. We'll see how Gemini does for us. Oh, nice, Code Stars. You should see if you can compile this. We'll see if Gemini is actually going to be helpful to us. It looks like you're dealing with 2 distinct problems. Fantastic. It's failing to evaluate. You need to install the Windows driver kit compatible with Visual Studio 2022. Okay. Oh, this seems like a headache. Yearly membership is full access to everything? Yes. Unlimited access to everything. Well, we got nothing better to do, right? Let's just troubleshoot this and see if we can figure it out. Let's get the Windows driver kit downloaded. I bet I have to use previous ones. Can you drop the link to it in chat? Yes. Let me grab that for you. Give me just a moment. I have it in my notes here. So you have to first run that on Kali Linux. It will build a Windows folder. If you can figure out how to compile that on Linux, I'm going to be amazed. I don't feel like we have to do all this. I think this is one of the cases where AI might be hallucinating. I really don't, because I could have swore I did this not that long ago. We have desktop development installed, which is often what you need for that. No, it should. It knows what it is, silly. Yes, I told the AI it's hallucinating. I disagree with its assessment because we clearly see silver cats. Okay. Here's where it's at. We have Win32 release. Oh, that's just the actual architecture. Yes. Okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to close Visual Studio. Okay. We're going to reopen Visual Studio. And now we're just going to hope it works. I'm trying to think. Like, these are the ones that's saying it doesn't exist. All right, let's try this. If I open up Flame Shot, I'm going to spend the entire stream just troubleshooting this, but who cares? We'll all learn something in the process. Confirming build success. There is no build success that has happened. I don't know what Gemini is thinking about here. I did not make progress. What? Watch out, guys. AI is taking our jobs. You actually made progress. You silly, silly AI. I'm not running it. What's up, 13 Spooks? Good to have you here. Silly AI. He thinks if you do release, it will work. Gemini is actually pretty good, guys, for some things. But I've noticed when you get really technical, like some of these things, it is useless. I apologize. You're absolutely right. Build configuration manager, new. I don't. Is that all I had to do? I was hitting debug instead of build. I'm such a genius, guys. I'm so smart. I did it. That's all. AI did not help. See, guys, AI hallucinates. AI is not going to take your jobs. We would have fallen down a massive rabbit hole if we would have listened to AI. I think it worked. All right. Let's let's go ahead and find out. If I go to our folder here, and why do I... Oh, we need to go to our hacking folder. Hacking, Windows. It worked. It was just a matter of doing build. I didn't even realize I was hitting debug. I was thinking I was hitting build with the green play button. So the solution, guys, is I was debugging it because I'm a freaking genius, and then AI gave us that crazy rabbit hole. We just need to do build and build solution. Make sure Silvercats is marked. Make sure it's x64, and then build and build solution, and then we'll be able to build that powercats.dll. All right. Now the fun's just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what we need to do now. We want to load this into Sliver. All right, so if we go out, I believe the standard is Sliver client. Yes, and if we go to extensions, oh, do I not have Mimikatz even installed? No. Okay. Let's go back over to Sliver. I must not have it installed on here from the Armory. Let's go to, if we type in Armory, we should see Sliver there. All right, if we do Armory, or not Sliver, Mimikatz. Okay, now that we have Mimikatz installed, realize that this isn't no longer Remina. We can close this out. Extensions, LS. Now we see Mimikatz. All right, what we are going to do is let's copy Mimikatz, and I'm going to call it HS Mimikatz for Hack Smarter. And maybe I should do what it says to do recursive. And if we go into HS Mimikatz, you can see that we have that powercats.x64.dll. What we are going to do is grab the DLL that we just compiled or built with Visual Studio. So for me, I think that was Windows VM, Windows x64. Okay. No, it was not. Where did it build it at? Oh, I'm on the desktop. Hold up. Oh, did I compiled the wrong one. Oh, well. That still works. Let's go to this one right here. x64, I want to grab powercats.dl, the one that we compiled, and I'm going to right-click, and we'll copy that. And let's go over to this, is what I was trying to do, and paste it in. powercats.dll. I thought I was compiling within that folder, but apparently I wasn't. So then that's going to be right here, powercats.dll, and we're going to copy it to the current location. If we do ls, we can see our powercats x64.dll and our powercats.dll. I'm just going to go ahead and move powercats.x64.dll to old.dll. And then I'm going to move my new powercats.dll just to that same name so I don't break anything. x64.dll will be fine. And I guess we can just remove the old DLL. We already have it backed up. And if we do nano extension.json, we need to also modify the extension. I think the only thing we need to change, we have this is powercats x64. That should all be good. Since I updated the full name and the name and command name, we'll call it HS Mimikatz and HS Mimikatz to run the command. And we will go ahead and save it. Okay. I'm sure I did something wrong, but let's go ahead and find out. We still have our Sliver session right here. And if I do... Okay, I wonder if I have to reload Sliver. which I don't even remember the syntax for that. To reload sliver. Like to refresh and upon the new armories. I hope I don't have to actually pull things out. Like, I hope I don't have to close out the sliver session. Surely there's a way to update it. I don't want to actually update sliver. The latest version of sliver is sort of broken, so I don't want to do that. But I want to update armory. Insecure, install, update. Okay, so Mimikatz works, but HS Mimikatz doesn't work. Let's see if we can figure this out now. Hacking, guys, is just troubleshooting one thing and then troubleshooting another thing. Reload sliver armory. And we'll see if their docs are any helpful. The sliver docs are sort of helpful, but they're also missing a lot of stuff from my experience. So I don't want to install all the tools. I just want to install the one that I added. But I mean, I already added it, so it should be there. Like armory install HS Mimikatz shouldn't do anything. Yeah, because it's not going to be found. I already did armory update. See, it doesn't have details on how to add your own. If you want to manually remove a package, simply delete its corresponding directory and we have to restart the client. That's lame. It's open source. Maybe I should open up a PR that you don't have to restart the client, because now we have to redo a few of the steps we did. But let's go ahead and do it. All right, let's start up sliver. And now I'm just curious. Okay, now it's there. Hack Smarter Mimikatz is there. So unfortunately, you do have to fully close out sliver. That is lame. Let me go ahead and set up our job again. We'll have to redo a few of our steps through the magic of video editing. I'll fix this for those of you watching this video after the fact. For the rest of you on the live stream, well, you get to suffer right alongside of me. It really shouldn't take too long. We'll reopen this up. That's cool. We will get this shell. All right, and from here, we will go ahead and launch efspotato.exe on update2.exe. We need to make sure our web server is still running, which it is. That will pull down the shell code. It will hopefully execute it in memory, and then we will grab a shell in sliver. Oh, I had my old session still. I didn't even realize that. It must have thrown it back out to me. Beautiful. Okay, Tyler, you can go back to, when you're editing the video, jump back to this part. All right, we have our sliver session again. So picking up where we left off, but now because we restarted our sliver client, we can actually do help on our Hack Smarter Mimikatz that we made. And now Mimikatz is here, but hopefully this is where we really cross our fingers. Hopefully we did everything correctly and we are able to run Mimikatz, bypass Windows Defender, and dump the hash for the administrator. So let's go ahead and find out. And we will see if it actually works. So let's just first try to run privilege debug. Privilege debug. All right, and so far, so good. And now what we should be able to do is just dump the SAM hashes. Moment of truth. We did it. It took a bit of troubleshooting, but this is how obfuscation often is. We were able to obfuscate our own version of Mimikatz. We're calling it Hack Smarter Mimikatz, and we have bypassed fully up-to-date Windows Defender to dump the SAM hashes with Mimikatz, which I think is really freaking amazing. So let's go ahead and drop back over to our notes and just add these details to our notes. I'm going to do an H1, and we will say dumping SAM hashes. and we'll say we compiled our own version of Mimikatz. We loaded this into Sliver C2. We bypassed Defender and dumped all the things. And let's go and grab a full code block of what we just did so we have all of those hashes. And then we'll just pull out the administrator hash, and it should be the flag that we are looking for. We'll just go ahead and grab this, our Hack Smarter Mimikatz. All right, when we look over at Hack Smarter Mimikatz, we have the administrator right here and the NTLM hash. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Let's jump over to our lab. Let's cross our fingers that this flag actually works. Let's hit submit. And boom, we successfully got the NTLM hash of the administrator user. And I do think this is a really good natural stopping point for this video. This is part 9 of working through the evasive machine. We have one more video. I'm confident that we will solve it in part 10, and part 10 will be a shorter video. So thank you for watching. I know that was a little bit confusing, but the beauty of a video is you can rewind, you can pause, and you can follow with me step by step. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Woo! Now, there was a much easier way of doing that, guys, but I think the way we did it was more fun. Don't always choose the easy route. You learn more by doing the more difficult route and doing crazy things like obfuscation just to see if you can do it. But that was cool. We're not done though. We're gonna record the next part of the series. I just need to grab this video on my host machine and hold it to the right directory so I can do a little bit of editing to it before it releases. Paste that in. We're going to call this evasive part 9. All right. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. All right, guys, before I start recording again and we record part 10 of the evasive machine, I know that was a lot. If you're not normally doing obfuscation in Visual Studio, you're probably lost. I was even lost, as you could tell, as I was trying to troubleshoot. But if anyone has any quick questions, happy to take a minute to answer them. And then we're going to start recording and record another part in this series. And we're finally going to finish the evasive machine. This has been the machine that has taken me the longest, I think. Like, I don't think I have any other series that are literally 10 parts of me working through a machine, but it's a super cool machine. Although it's on my platform, I haven't actually solved this machine before. We have a QA team at Hack Smarter. They are the ones who QA'd it and solved it. I've been doing this my way. The easy way is you could just grab the system and security hives, you pull that to your Kali Linux machine, and then you can dump the hashes that way. I suppose you could also, I'm thinking in my head, another way that you could have done this, I don't know if this would get caught by Defender, but you could make, like, we have access as NT System Authority, right? So you could create an admin account, which I think is what we'll do in the next one for persistence, but you could create your own admin account and then use netexec. In netexec, there is a flag to dump the SAM database, to dump the SAM hashes. I think that would work as well. Because you're running the netexec from your Kali Linux machine, I do think that that would bypass Defender that way. You definitely don't have to obfuscate Mimikatz. How can someone play with this and learn from it? Just what I'm doing now. It's tempting, guys, and this is what I've been trying to teach people about the Hack Smarter platform. A lot of platforms are competitive. They want you to solve the machine as fast as you can. I think that's the wrong approach. You shouldn't race for first bloods, ever, in my opinion. Every machine is an opportunity to learn something new. Slow down. Read a walkthrough and then try to do it a different way. Experiment. This is the best place to experiment. You can't experiment in a real engagement. You'll break something. But in a lab environment, guys, do not race for first blood. Do not be competitive with it. People have asked me if we're going to add like a leaderboard to Hack Smarter. I might eventually, but the problem with those leaderboards is it encourages an unhealthy level of competition. It takes a platform, so the goal is no longer to learn new things, but rather to compete against other people. And then you have the silly embargoes on hints and walkthroughs. On Hack Smarter, there is no restrictions on giving each other hints. There are no restrictions on walkthroughs. Even when we release our ranges, our full networks, there's no restrictions on walkthroughs. At the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know. Do not rush through it. Take the time, slow down, and focus on learning. Zero Hack 3D0, we're just getting started, dude. We're going to start recording again. Disk to Bugforge. I don't want to disk Bugforge. Isn't that Alex's platform? I haven't checked it out. I think it's focused on web apps. Here, let's check it out real quick. Alex is a cool dude. It's Bugforge something. I don't know. Is it IO? Here it is. Oh. Oh, I can't see the page? Okay, we'll look at it later. All right, well, let's go ahead and record part 2 of the evasive machine and see if we can finally solve it. I'm also going to drop the machine resources. This machine doesn't have to have this many resources on it, I don't think. But, by the way, guys, if you're ever looking for walkthroughs for any of our machines, dude, 0x Bob, he's part of our QA team. He writes amazing walkthroughs. We'll actually check out his walkthrough when we're done. But if you go to Hack Smarter, he has detailed walkthroughs for basically every lab on the platform. Can you explain how we escape from the tutorial mentality and really start doing research-based? I think that really just comes with having a solid foundation. And I don't think you fully escape. Like, it's always good to do courses. It's always good to do labs. Labs, I feel like, aren't tutorials, especially on Hack Smarter. They're very realistic. Things that you will see in a real pen test. You learn while you're doing that. So I view labs as the opposite of the tutorial mentality. So part of it is just diving into a lab, being overwhelmed. When you get stuck, you look at a walkthrough, then you go back, you experiment. That's part of it. The other part of it for real research is begin doing some CVE hunting on open source projects. I have multiple videos on my YouTube channel on how to do vulnerability hunting in open source projects. I have, I think, 12 CVEs at this point. So that's another big thing. But the way I treat open source projects, like on Docker Hub and GitHub, I just pretend like it's a CTF, like it's another lab, and I just play around and I find things. I wish I could live stream myself doing that type of hunting, but I can't, because when I find those bugs, they are 0 days. They could be exploited by someone, so I can't live stream myself finding bugs in real software for obvious reasons. All right. Let's go ahead and record part 10 of working through this lab, and our goal is to get the credit card number. Here we go. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is part 10, which is insane. This is the longest series I've ever done working through a machine, but this is part 10 of working through the evasive machine on the Hack Smarter platform. Hopefully, this will be a shorter video. We have fully compromised the machine. We have dumped the administrator's NTLM hash. In the last video, if you missed it, we made a custom obfuscated version of Mimikatz called Hack Smarter Mimikatz. We loaded it into Sliver. We ran it from our Sliver session. We dumped the hashes. We got that second flag. And now we have one final flag, one final goal. So let's go ahead and dive in. Our final goal is this. What is the credit card number of the compromised user? And I'll be real with you guys. I'm just going to go ahead and request a hint. And it says screenshot. Okay. So this must be a user that is logged into the machine. We might be able to grab a screenshot. Trying to think in my head a good way to approach this. Let's do this. Let's go over to our Sliver session here. And one cool thing built into Sliver is you can see all the running processes on the machine. So I'm curious what users are logged into this machine and which user you would screenshot a credit card from. So if I do PS here, we have our NT authority system, right? We have all those, but we want to see if there's any users who are logged in. I'm going to do Y to continue. We have NT authority, NT authority, NT authority. MSP Eng, no user so far. Wait, I'm seeing no other users. You know what? I have a feeling with the way that I've kind of done all my experimentation, I wonder if I accidentally broke another user that should be logged into this machine. I have a feeling that may be what happened. Huh. I don't actually know how to fix that. Let's do this. I know it's bad OffSec, but YOLO. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new user called Tyler, and we'll say password 123 for my password as our new user. We're going to add a new user, and what we're going to do, so once that command completes, I also want the machine to do this. We're going to add our user to the local administrator account. I just want to give myself some better persistence on this machine in case I break more things. So let's do that. And it's not a valid statement separate in this version. All right, fine. We'll do it separate. Net user Tyler, password 123. We'll do password 123. Does that work? Oh, I need to add silly Tyler. Net user Tyler, password 123. Add. Okay, cool. If we net user Tyler, can we see my user? We can. And now let's do net local group. Let's add him to the administrators group. Okay, so we added ourselves to the administrators group. Let's go ahead and add that to our notes. So I'm going to copy this, jump over to our notes. I thought this would be easy, but watch, we're going to end up having to troubleshoot more stuff. I'm going to do an H2, and we'll just say establishing persistence by adding our own user. And now let's investigate this a little more closely. Let's go over to Remina. We're going to connect to winserver01.hs. We're going to say yes, and we're going to do Tyler and password 123 and see if we can get RDP access as the Tyler user and see if we can enumerate from there and figure out what I broke. I believe what's supposed to happen on this machine is that there's another user logged in that you have to steal that credit card from. But I've done a lot of crazy stuff to this machine in this 10-part series, so there's a very good chance I broke something, but we'll find out. We'll see if we can get the credit card another way. Otherwise, I'll have to reset the machine, which will be sad. All right, winserver01.hs. Let's go ahead and get logged in. At least my backdoor worked. We now have persistence to the machine as an administrator, full RDP access. So let's see if we can hunt for whatever this credit card is. Wait for our machine to load. It's 3 a.m. for them. Oh, that's right. I forgot that KeepPass was running. See, I saw this previously. Okay, I definitely broke something. Did I add that to my notes? I remember looking at processes and seeing that KeepPass was running. Alfonso. Yes, I did not see that. Okay. I think I broke something with Alfonso. Alfonso was logged in before because I remember seeing KeepPass.exe as Alfonso being logged in. Let's see how I managed to break it. I'm going to switch over to the Alfonso user. Is there anything like on his desktop? There's merger info. Okay. All right, let's do this. Open up our terminal as a command or as an administrator. If we look at Alfonso, he is in remote desktop users. So since he is in remote desktop users, what if we just do net user Alfonso hack smarter 123? All right, well, change Alfonso's password and let's go ahead and log in as him. Alfonso. Hack Smarter 123. But it would appear that at some point of time, something what I did, also keep in mind that like 5 weeks have passed since I initially booted up this machine. So I'm almost certain this is an issue that is very unique to me, not something anyone else is going to encounter. I'm guessing the intended path is you either screenshot Alfonso's desktop with something like Sliver or Metasploit, or you log in as Alfonso, and then you're able to grab whatever the credit card information is. But let's go ahead and RDP as Alfonso, just see what we're able to see, and see if we can figure it out. Oh! There it is. Nice. So it was the KeepPass database that I saw running, but we couldn't access till we logged in as Alfonso, and it was already open for us. Nice. So if I go ahead and copy the username, which looks like a credit card number to me, let's jump over to our evasive lab, and let's see, ladies and gentlemen, if we can finally solve the evasive machine here on the platform. I'll hit submit. And we have successfully solved it. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and stop my machine so I don't cost myself money. We're going to hit complete. Let's see if I can see my sweet cert. I can't view it. I want to see my certification. Well, oh, I'm on the developer side of things. I'm not actually solving it on the platform. Therefore, I don't get a certification. Notice that I'm not on hacksmarter.org. I'm logged into the back end of hacksmarter.org, and I don't have a real student account. So it's like I can't give you a certification because you're not a real person. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It only took me 10 parts, a lot of rabbit holes, a lot of troubleshooting, but in this series, I demonstrated multiple forms of AV evasion. We obfuscated Mimikatz. We made our own version called Hack Smarter Mimikatz. We put that into Sliver. We dumped hashes. We changed passwords. We RDP'd as Alfonso. We finally got Alfonso's credit card, and now I can use his credit card to sign up for Hack Smarter to pay for the cloud costs. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me for this journey, and I will catch you in the next one. That machine was a trip, guys. Wow. It was a cool machine. Tyler, would you say it's better to focus on one type of pen testing at a time or learn multiple at the same time? Depends. If you're learning cloud, I think it's okay. You could probably learn multiple. They're similar. Same with networks. You could learn internal network pen testing and external network pen testing at roughly the same time. If you're learning web apps, you could learn web apps and APIs and even mobile apps. There's certain assessment types that sort of go together, and you can learn some of those if they're kind of in the same family of assessment type, if that makes sense. Thank you, Sank. It's been a while since we've done the hacking stream, guys. I have a little bit of video editing to do. I've been live streaming for an hour and 40 minutes. I also live streamed for an hour earlier today, so we're at 2 hours and 40 minutes of live streaming. But guys, I'm going to call it a night. Let's see. We got most of you are watching on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, you should come join Twitch so you can be part of the raid. To raid someone means we take all of our viewers and we send them to another streamer to show some love and support. So I just dropped my link URL in the chat. You don't need to have a Twitch account to be part of the raid. And let me go ahead and see if anyone is streaming. It's a cool website called InfoSec Streams. We got Shyhat, Blazebit, Slyborg. Wow. Let's raid Shyhat because he was hanging out earlier today on the stream. I don't know if it was during the afternoon stream or the evening stream, but I remember seeing him jump in. So let me go ahead and get this raid set up. And then I'm going to do some video editing, get some videos ready to post. But I really do appreciate all you guys hanging out with me for the craziness of me trying to use Visual Studio. What up, Ty? Over on LinkedIn. I apologize, Ty, if you're just joining, but I am signing off. You just missed out on all the fun. We raid the Shyhat. Guys, when we raid the Shyhat, make sure you all say Hack Smarter, not harder in chat. He'll know who we are. So Hack Smarter, not harder in chat. Let's show him some love and support. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Until next time, Hack Smarter, not harder.